What's up guys, and welcome back to Gabe Miller Music, where I make electronic music and show you the process. So, I'm not really old enough to be nostalgic for the 90s, but one thing I am nostalgic for is the breakbeat music that you would hear in action scenes in movies like The Matrix, and in club scenes in movies like The Matrix. That sampled breaks, acid bass, kind of over the top, it kind of had this cheesy swagger to it, and I've always really liked that. And so today I kind of want to try to bring that back a little bit. So that's what we are doing today, making Matrix beats. I started off by spending some time perusing through sample packs until I finally found the break that you just heard. Once I had that, my percussion is basically good to go, but I did a couple other things to really push it over the top. First of all, I added a tambourine loop. And then I also took the drum fill that the drummer did in the sample, compressed it with an inch of its life, and then added some distortion. I'll be able to use this as a fill later on because I really like the contrast between this really kind of lo-fi, dirty section and then the nice clean break. So here's what all that ended up sounding like. So that's one half of the song's foundation. The other half, of course, is the bass. And when designing this bass, I did it very much in the way that someone designing it on a hardware synth back in the 90s would have done. A sawtooth wave running through a high-cut filter with the resonance cranked. Instant acid. And as you can see, the filter bounces back and forth, so you get some nice movement. From there, I added a sub and a bunch of effects, including EQ, distortion, delay, and a really subtle flanger. The flanger and the delay really help to bring out that kind of psychedelic, retro future vibe I'm going for. So that's our foundation. Now, let's make it cinematic. That's a couple of layers. This cheesy strings patch, and this pad that emulates an analog synth. I also used the same plugin to make an ARP, and I threw some bit crushing and delay on that, once again doubling down on the whole retro future vibe. At this point, I was feeling pretty good about how everything was sounding, but I needed just one more thing to push it over the top. So, what's an instrument that you'll often hear in an incredibly stylized action sequence? Electric guitar. Subtlety is pretty much out the window at this point. The plugin I used to simulate the guitar, by the way, is Shreddage 2, and I'll definitely be using that to make a full song in the future. So at this point, I've got enough going on that I'll be able to take this loop and develop it into a full song. But there's one more thing I want to add first. I want to add another section to add some variation and really switch things up. So let's duplicate all the percussion and pull up another instance of Serum. And for this sound, I'm going to be using a sine wave and then adding a bunch of distortion. Now comes the cool part. For those of you who don't know, a kick drum is usually synthesized by taking a tone and then making it go down in pitch really fast. So like your trance kick that goes, that's where that sound comes from. It's the pitch going down really fast. So I did something similar to that, but much slower. So I end up with this. It's so aggressive and dirty. I love it. Anyway, now I have everything I need to arrange all these tracks into a full song, which you can hear right now.
I've ever seen is a bunch of notes from an electronic hunk of metal.
So that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a musical style you'd like me to make in a future video, be sure to leave it in the comments down below, right below that like button. I really enjoy trying out new sounds and playing around with new styles, and if that sounds like your cup of tea, I'd love to have you subscribe. I'm putting out 2 videos a week this summer, so I will see you guys on Monday.